Okay, so Robin, could you turn the camera back to the audience so I can see them? Yeah. For Dr. Yan, yes. All right, how many we have here? 8 people. Okay. Well, my name is George. Yeah, I work with Dr. Yan before at Taipei Medical University, and that's the reason why I'm sitting here, have a presentation with you today. And well, I saw some new faces, but I have no chance to know you. So why don't we use this time? If no, can you just do some introductions that so I know your name at least? Frank, do you can you help? Yes. Oh, hi. Okay. Fortune, yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. Great. Good to know. So it's my pleasure, having a chance to talk with you. I am not a scientist, although my major was in the biology when I was in the school. I was at healthcare administration major before. I work with the medical group after I graduate here in the California, and I work with insurance company, medical insurance company mainly for a large part of my life. And after that career with the insurance company, I went back to Taiwan. The reason I went back was that I have two kids. I want them to have educations, in Taiwan. At least they know some Chinese, and well, it's easier for me to communicate with them. So at that time when I was in Taiwan, I have the chance to work at Taipei Medical University. And during that time, even with my previous careers, I found that communications is sort of important because it's my daily life. In my whole life, I deal with people. Now, I have a very, very good best friend. He is my high school classmate. We went to the school in biology major together. However, I end up found that I'm not the person sitting in the lab, and end up I go to the other directions. And my classmates, which is my best friend, he deals with microscope and the cell culture dishes all his life. Okay, so people are different. I know people who are not, have to deal with people because they have some other techniques. But communications doesn't matter if it's with the work or with your families or with your friends. I think it's somehow important to us. That's why I'm giving you the presentation today, and I think that's what the area that I'm good at. So let's go on for that presentations and help. Hopefully, after the presentations, I can bring you some information, or you can get some tips when you do your presentations and do the public speaking. Is that okay? Good, good. Okay, let's start. Okay, why presentation? Just like I said, presentation is not, only for work. It's for daily life. Communicate with people. So to better express yourself, make people understand you, and at the same time, people can feel you right, and and make no mistake, by taking the wrong informations. And presentations, for me, it's important because I deal with people. When I was in the medical group, I deal with doctors, physicians, I deal with insurance company, which is medical insurance. I deal with patients. When I work at a medical insurance company, mostly I have to deal with the people who insured with our company's policies. Even I work with Dr. Yan at the TMU. We have an international medical group team that we send a group of doctors to Africa, help them with their medical necessities and help them to build the hospitals. And also we invite them to our countries, for communications, to do the education and help them to build up their medical informations and also techniques. That's why I have to do host the meeting. I have to translate. I have to make arrangement to make people, coming back in and out. So that's why presentation, at least for me, now is part of my life already. Well, everybody has their style when they do the presentation, even when they talk to people. So today I'm going to introduce my style of presentation, at least, as an example. And hopefully after the presentation, you think that my way can inspire you a little bit. Or if you say that's nonsense, it's not my style, which is okay. At least I try my best, try to impress everybody. So my style presentations, I always follows those steps. And I found it is very effective when I communicate with people, even though with the people I never met. So I will start with something funny, that's so-called the ice break. Just make people think, hey, I'm not, very serious person. I can joke around. I can be friend with you. That's my style. To start with something funny, so at least you like me at the very beginning, even though you think my funny stuff is not funny. Okay, I try. Okay, and later on when I get into the conversation or the presentations, I like two-way interactions, which means I'm not only giving you what I think. I want to hear what you think before I give you the information. So by telling you this, later on I will give you more detail why I do this. Okay, and I use stories all the time for the audience sitting in the room, and even Sabina. Well, I had 2 or 3 presentations already, and as you can notice, I use stories. I love stories, and people will more focus on hearing the story and understand what that story means to them. So that, I think, is a very good way for me to provide my information to you as telling you the story. And during the conversations, during the presentations, or people will ask questions, or people will have some objections, or they agree with you. I love to interact with the audience. So just don't make it like I'm the one-man show. I want to make it like everybody in the room, they have a good time, discuss, and observe informations at the same time. So that's one way I use to do two-way communications. And sometimes people ask questions, sometimes they ask too much questions, and sometimes they ask wrong questions, or sometimes they ask the question that I cannot answer. There's a technique for me, to overcome this, to make my presentation smooth. Then I will give you some detail later on. At the end, after presentation, every single time, and thank you for Robin recording the presentation for us. Well, not only Robin, for me, I have a habit. Every time when I have the presentations, even face-to-face, one-on-one person, or one to the group, or even a large group people, I record my own presentations. And after the presentations, I will play back. So I know what I'm saying. I know what I say wrong, and I know how I present, how to improve next time. That's become my habit, and I think this is one good way that if you want to become a better speakers, and this will help you a lot, because most of the time you see people, but you don't see yourself. So far, so good? Good. Okay. So let's start that my style of conversations. First of all, have a joke, right? Have something funny. Okay. Let me tell you a funny thing about a kid mosquito at his first flight. Okay. So there is a mama mosquito and there's a kid mosquito. And mama mosquito said that, hey kid, you grow up already. You don't stay home all the time. Take your first flight, go out, and when you come back, tell me what happened. So the kid mosquito said, okay. Then he fly out and go, and 20 minutes later, he come back. And mama mosquito said that, hey kid, how is your first flight? And kid mosquito said, I think I'm pretty good, I have a good job. I did a good job. And mama mosquito asked the kid mosquito, why you say so? The kid mosquito say, no, you know what? Everywhere when I fly, people clap. People clap. People claps. Well, it's funny to me though. All right, let's start. The voice of the audience. So when I prepare these presentations, I'm thinking that when people sitting in this room, even with Savina, do you think you are a good speaker? Well, if you think you are a good speaker, can you raise your hand and show me? Let me know if you think you are a really good speaker. Anybody wants to show hands? Good. And do you think public speaking or doing better presentation is important to you? Show me your hand. Okay, great. A lot of people say yes. Okay, almost everybody. So it's important for us to become a better speakers. And anybody has a fear when you do the public speaking, even one-on-one, one-on-two. Not mention you talk to 100 people, thousands of people. Do you have the fear? Show your hand. Okay, few people has the fear. Okay, so after these presentations, let me calm you down. You do what that I told you for the step by step. Then next time, try it. You feel better. You're not afraid of doing your own presentation anymore. That I'm very happy because in these presentations, I'll help you a little bit. Okay. So I will let you know how I become, at least I think, a better speakers in the following presentations. Well, by doing this, I communicate with my audience. At least I know what you know. And at least I know what you don't know. So by doing this exercise, hear the voice of my audience, I can decide what to tell you. If you know already, forget it. I just skip those parts that you know already to save time. I will focus on the part that you don't know or you want to know. That's my skill, to know the audience at the very beginning. So I will toast a joke before, toast a joke first, then I go to understand my audience to start my process of my presentations. Okay, story times. Everybody loves to listen stories, even when you are a baby. Okay, is there any people here sitting here do not like story? Okay, no, obviously. So if you have the chance to attend my presentation for last time, remember I told you the story about Warren Buffett? at the investment presentations. So Warren Buffett, he is one of the most rich person in the world, and he has some rules. He follows these rules, he become rich. So if you want to become rich, maybe you follow him, you know. So the number one rule for Warren Buffett, as I told last time, never lose money. All the investment you do, try not to lose money. And rule number 2 is never forget rule number 1, which is simple, right? Okay, and today, I did not mention about rule number 3 last time because, well, it's kind of irrelevant last time to the topic. But this topic, rule number 3, is totally, go with today's presentations. Warren Buffett said that rule number 3 is to invest yourself. Okay, and the way he invests himself is learn to communicate better with his investors, with people, and with his company's employees. That's the way he thinks that rule number 3 is so important in his life. Warren Buffett, like before, he was so afraid of doing the public speaking, and end up he wants to improve his skills. He went to the Dale Carnegie for the public speak training, and after the training he started to do his presentation better and better, and he appreciate and he think that go to the class actually is one of the best thing happen in his life. So I'm not sitting here to tell you go to the Carnegie classes. No, I'm not his salesperson, so don't take it wrong. I'm just telling you the stories, and you can think about it, how the ways that you can improve that to make you become a better speaker. When I do the presentations, well, this is a difficult time. So we use that Zoom communications. I talk to the computer. You watch me in the weird shape. Actually, I look more handsome before in front of the camera face. Okay. And this is another joke. So when I talk to people, in my presentations, I will encounter that people will ask me questions. Sometimes they ask the right question. Sometimes they ask the interesting questions. If the question is simple, or I can explain it right away, usually I will answer the questions right away. So what if people sitting there and ask some dumb questions? Well, actually, there's no dumb questions. Question is question. You just have to try to deal how to resolve the question of your audience, right? So when people ask questions, you cannot answer. You have no idea where it come from, or it's somewhere that I can do some research and I can answer that person's question. I will do this. I will say, hey, Frank, you ask a very, very good questions, but I am not able to answer you because I need more information. So why don't we do this? I record your questions. By the end of the presentation, if I have time, I remember how to give you the answer. I will do it at all times. So I will collect most people's questions, and not answer during my presentation. I will answer at the end of the presentation, which will be very effectively save, control the time of your presentation. Have you ever encountered that people ask questions and go to the wrong directions and end up delaying your whole presentations? And most people sitting there does not want to hear that conversation anymore. They get frustrated. Do you have that experience? For me, I had that experience before, so I try not to do this, in my presentations. So I will collect the questions to the answer at the end, or I will write down the questions. I will tell you that I will go back, I will do my research, and I will get back to you. So here comes the very, very important things. When I say I will get back to you, how many people sitting in this room, when people ask you a question, you really, really remember, resolve that question and get back to the person? Do you do this every single time? Show me your hand. Or sometimes you forgot. Okay, this is good, training for me. At this, people ask me questions. They are sincere. They want to know the answers. They don't want, I don't want to waste their time, by sitting there not knowing things. So for me, as a habit, I write down the questions. I go back. I try my best, to resolve their problems, and I will get back to them. And by doing this, people think you are very sincere. You're really focusing on resolving their problems. So next time, when you have another presentations, they will be sitting in the room to listen again, because they will get more information next time. Okay, this is one recommendation that I can give you today. So at the end, I know I answer. I don't know, that I will get back to you. Okay, at the end of the presentations, like today, Robin recorded the today's meeting, so Dr. Yan can review it. Somebody who in the future they think that this may be benefit to them, they will ask Robin, hey, can you give me that video? I want to watch again. Even with the other, with our colleagues' presentations, I will strongly suggest that we record every presentations as a file. That I talk with Robin, it will become a very good resources in the future. If you want to know some topic, you can always retrieve it. And for today, I record my own presentations. See, I always have my iPhone here, recording mode, that I record my presentation. I will watch it later on and see how I do in the presentations. Way to become a better speakers for me. Now, I will give me a time to become a great speaker by watching the other great speakers' presentations. Usually, the videos that I will watch will be the graduations, commencement. Schools, they invite people to do the commencement, and during that short 10-20 minutes commencement, the speakers deliver a lot of important information about their life, about their success, about the way they want to encourage people. So I watch them, and hopefully I can learn some from them. Even if you want to become a good speaker, except that you can watch the TED, you can watch the Toastmasters. There are so many sources that you can go on. Even though when I feel bored, I go to that stand-alone comedian that I love to watch their show. So by the time I can record some jokes that I think are very interesting. Okay. And number 2, I record my own presentation. Number 3, I will try to avoid the redundant words or the fillers, so-called fillers. I don't know if you have the habit. After I watch my own video presentations, I found I say okay, I say I say so many times. At the very beginning, when the first time I record my first presentations, and when I watch it, I was like shocked. You know how many times I say okay in my 20 minutes presentation? 128 times. I counted. And that was that was a shock for me. So after that, every presentations, I'll try to remember, don't say okay, don't say don't say those filler words that often, that you will distract your audience. And try not to use the redundant words, that many, that will make your presentation short and precise. So when I talk about redundant words, anybody know what redundant words is? Can you give me some example of redundant words? Okay, well, there are some. We are saying that every day, and we don't know it's redundant. Like free gift. If we say free gift, what do you think? It's redundant. A gift is free, right? So you don't say free gift. You say what? You say gift, right? Okay, and what about past history? In the past history, people do this, people do that. Don't you know that history is past already? So when you say history, you don't say past history. Those are redundant. And in our daily life, daily conversation, we have so many redundant words coming in our conversation. I try to avoid to say those redundant words, but well, of course, it takes time to learn. You have to know what redundant words is. You have to try to how to organize and to avoid to say those redundant words, because people, you are the person when you do the presentation. People know you by how you do your presentations, and they know how good you are by not saying too many filler words, too many redundant words, and you just try to be comfortable doing your conversations, doing your presentations, because those redundant words, those filler words, usually is one way to help you to continue that the presentation. But which you sometimes, if you found that you say too much filler words, as I can give you a tip, is that use the period instead of saying okay. So you stop, you pause. There's a period between a sentence and sentence, and people feel much better than you keep saying the okay words inside, because sometimes when you pause, when you are giving the time for your audience to think about what you're saying. I think this is very useful for me when I say something. When the filler words almost come up to my mouth, I will stop, quiet for a little bit. Okay, few seconds is okay, but not too long. Okay, people feel you are falling to sleep. And number four is to organize your presentations. Well, for people you know me, you watched my presentations before, you will find out that every time when I do my presentations, the style is pretty much the same. The way I organize my way to communicate with you, almost the same. That's why I think it's important for everybody here to develop your own style of presentations. If you can create that style, it becomes your signature. So people, well, they know you, they don't know you, which is fine. They will expect, they can easily understand what you are trying to tell them. So create your own style of presentation and organize it. I would say it's the core of how you become a better speaker. And the timing, number 6, timing somehow is very important when you do your presentations. Let me give you another stories. Anybody knows that if you try to get attention for a kid, like a 3 or 4 years old kid, how long you can keep them focused? Okay, Sabina said 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes? Anybody else? 2 minutes? 5 minutes? Okay, well, statistically, if you want to get attention and keep them focused for the kids, like 3-4 years old, 7 seconds. 7 seconds. So timing for them is important, because out of 7 seconds, they start distracted, they start doing something else. So you have to hold that 7 seconds time to tell them what you want to deliver, your message, right? For teenagers, age of 10 to 18, how long you think they will keep focused, listening what you're saying? This is 8 minutes, right? 8 minutes. Actually, within 10 minutes, okay? If you cannot say what you want to say within 10 minutes, they will go away for teenagers. Okay, now let's go to the adults, like you, like me, sitting in the room. How long you think that you can focus on that? Savina is tired already. He said, 5 more minutes, I will go. Right? Okay, so for adult, within 27 minutes. 27. Okay? So mostly you have to deliver your message. At the beginning, you do the ice break, you chat with people. At the end, you answer the questions. So end up, there is only 27 minutes of time to really focusing on deliver your message. That's why my presentations, I focus on the main ideas, always within 20 to 30 minutes. And I time when I do the presentations. Like before I will do it, before I really do the presentation, I record it and I say, I just like a rehearsal, and I see how much time I use. And right now, since I have been doing so many presentations already, I know how much time I'm talking. And I know it's about 30 minutes right now, right? That I do my presentation. And this is almost at the end of my slides. So I think the timing for me is important because I don't want you to get bored. I don't want you to get distracted. And that's the reason you have to be very careful about the timing when you do the presentations. So during the presentations, do you find that I pretty much focusing on how you feel when I do my presentations? Do you think so? Anybody? Yes, if I don't care what you think about, the only thing I care is just try to tell you the thing I want to tell you, it is absolutely not a good presentation because, there's no interactions. I don't know what you think. I don't even know you like me or not, right? So two-way communication become one very good pattern that while your presentation goes, you know how your audience, receive your message and how slow or how fast you have to accomplish that presentations and how many more informations you want to give it to them, or you just cut it to the end. That's it. Right, number 8 is improve your skill of risk management. Why I put this in the training of the presentation? Because I found there are so many times during the presentations, something happened. Out of that electricities, sometimes your microphone doesn't work anymore. Sometimes people coming in, going out, distract you. Or sometimes you don't have water and you get choked, right? So there are so many times that when something goes wrong, then you have to think about, prepare. What if it goes wrong? What's the plan B? If this one does not work, how can I do to complete my presentations? For example, if the time when I do the presentation, the PPT does not work anymore. So without the PPT, are you able to finish your presentation without the PPT? What if PPT does not really work? What are you going to do? Right, think about it. Then plan for plan A and plan B that will make your presentations go smooth. Number 9 is dressed up. Well, of course, with that Zoom meeting, well, that's the way we can dress, because you don't really see me. I'm actually wearing a short under the table. So this may not apply to the meeting like this, but at the regular presentations, that's my suggestions to dress up, because people want to see. Well, when you dressed up, you are sincere. You tell them that you are serious. Just like Bill Gates. Bill Gates said, if you cannot make it good, right? At least you make it look good. So I always remember this line. If you cannot make it good, at least you make it look good. Dressed up all the time, okay? Put this into your presentation skills, and that will help you. Number 10, getting feedback from an audience and review your own recording presentations. That will always help you to become a better speakers. At a conversation, people judge you by how you present. So you have to prepare all the time, every single time, just in case people want you to, hey, have a speech, short one, long one, 1 minute speech. Are you able to do it? Think about it. If you are prepared all the time, get information left and right, common sense, your study field, the thing you like, the thing you don't like, or political, anything, then just try to collect those information into your dictionary. So when the time comes, people want you to express yourself, have a comment of something, you have some resources, you have information ready with you. For me, I prepare common sense. I will watch news, I will notice what happened right now in the world. At least I have something to say. And I always prepare some jokes, of course. So I can start with my joke and continue my conversations with the others. And experience make difference, of course. Everybody has their own different experience. But when you do the presentation, if you have the chance to choose the topic, for me, I always choose the topic that I have experience with. Just like today, I think I put a lot of attention to become a better speaker. Even though I'm still improving, I think I have a lot of room that I can go. Hopefully, in one day, when you see me doing another presentation, I will be better. And also have fun. Everybody here have fun. That's it. Any questions? I know I answer you. I don't know. I will get back to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Happy Halloween. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Rob. Bye.